Hello, and welcome to Mrs. D's Baking TV. I'm Mrs. D, and I simply love to bake. Guys, I have been dreaming about my chocolate chip cookie recipe that I used to bake for my children, and I've been baking this recipe for over 30 years. But I used, of course, conventional all-purpose flour. Now that you know I'm on my milling grains journey, I have been craving some of my chocolate chip cookies. I'm hoping they taste like the original recipe. Okay, so today we're using freshly milled flour. We're using soft white wheat. So let's go ahead and mill the flour, and I want to mill the flour ahead of time before I start mixing it, because I have noticed with freshly milled flour, the flour can be a little warm when you are milling your own grains. So I want the flour to come to room temperature and cool down a little bit, because the eggs that we're going to use are fresh from the refrigerator, and the butter that we're going to use is straight from the refrigerator. So I want my freshly milled flour to cool down a little bit. So while my freshly milled flour is cooling down, let's go ahead and measure all of these other ingredients. And I'll tell you this, I'm going to keep this recipe pretty close to the original. Now, in the original recipe, I don't remember where I got it from, because it's so old, I don't remember. So over time, I've changed like the types of chocolate I use. In this recipe, over time, I have switched out the types of sugar that I've used. I've used everything from coconut sugar to replace the dark brown sugar. I have used light brown sugar, honey granules. Well, no, I've never used honey granules because I've never done this recipe, but I've substituted with different types of sugar. But today I'm going to keep it strictly the same. I'm going to use granulated sugar, and I'm going to use dark brown sugar. The only thing that I'll switch up a little bit is I'm going to use dark chocolate, milk chocolate, and then I even found some semi-sweet chocolate. So it's going to be chocolate, chocolate, chocolate in these chocolate chip cookies. So follow along as we go ahead and measure out these ingredients and put this chocolate chip cookie recipe together. Now, if it's not good, I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to play around with you. I will tell you. Let's get started. in this container because we want to make sure that we don't get any shells in our mix. No shells. We're going to mix our eggs in one at a time. Okay, and this is what our mix is looking like. Yeah. Alrighty, now we are ready to add our freshly milled flour. And remember, to our freshly milled flour, I already added my salt and baking soda. So here we go, here we go. Okay, at this point, I've decided I am going to allow this cookie dough to rest because I want to make sure that all of the liquid, all of it, every little drop of liquid that's possible can absorb into this flour. Because right now it's looking a little heavy or dry. So we're going to allow this before I add my chocolate chips. I'm just going to place it in the refrigerator, let's say for about 30 minutes. Yeah, and that actually is called autolyse or autolyze. You know, by this time you would think that I would know how to correctly pronounce that word. You guys could correct me in the comments, but I guess you can't because I can't get an auto message. But we're going to allow this to sit in the refrigerator for about 30, let's say 30 minutes. I just changed my mind. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and complete the recipe, adding in my chocolate chips. And then I'm going to allow my cookie dough to rest because I want everything to be at the same temperature. Okay, I've removed the cookie dough from the refrigerator and I actually add an additional 15 minutes. So it's about 45 to 50 minutes that we have the cookie dough in the refrigerator. But this is what it's looking like. See that? Yeah. Looks like regular old cookie dough with regular all-purpose flour. So let's go ahead and get these on our baking pan, and we're going to bake these in a preheated oven at 375 degrees for approximately 9 to 12 minutes. I was trying to figure out which cookie scoop I wanted to use. So I've got two. I've got this very large cookie scoop that I normally use for my muffins, but then I've got this cookie scoop. I'm going to go with a very large one. Yes. So I'm only going to bake about 4 of these because I want to see what we're working with, to see if I need to add anything or I don't know. But let's go ahead and get these in the oven. And we're going to bake our cookies at 375 for 9 to 12 minutes. Oh, no. No. I'm not going to cry. I know it went wrong. When you're using freshly milled flour, You may have to add a fourth of a cup more to your batter. Yep, that's why our cookies are looking the way that they're looking. They smell absolutely delicious. Yeah, but you see how they just spread like one big pile of cookie dough? Let's add a little more flour. I've got some soft white wheat, freshly milled flour in the freezer. I'm going to add that to the cookie dough and we'll see if that makes a difference. Okay, let's try this again. Here we go. $375 for, let's say, 9 minutes. 9 to 12. But let's try 9 and see how that works. Okay. This is a whole lot better than our first try. I think possibly I used too much dough, but these look so much better than these. So let's let these cool. And then you know what's coming up next. You know what's coming up next. Woo, I was worried. These look so much better. It's taste test time. I'm so excited. I'm so excited because I know these are going to taste delicious because it's my recipe that I've been using forever. But this is the thing. This trial and error today, it got me. This is what we started with. Yeah, these little crispy little see-through cookies. You see that? They definitely did not have enough freshly milled flour because, like I said, you need to add about a fourth of a cup more when you're using freshly milled flour. Oh, look at that. Look at that perfect cookie. Look at that. Look at the bottom, all nice and brown. Look at that cookie, guys. Look at that. Is that not beautiful? Yes. And just to let you know, it's not a one time thing. Let's pick up another one. There we go. Look at that one. Just as good. So, what I'll do next time, I probably won't use as much dough when baking. I'll make these a little smaller, but I like a large cookie. Mrs. D, enough talking. Let's see what we're working with. Oh, so soft. Look at all that chocolate. There's almost more chocolate than there is anything else. Oh my goodness. Mm, mm, mm. Mm. It's very soft and delicious. Why not? Let's have a little milk with that. Oh my goodness. That is delicious. So, what did we learn today? Yes, you can convert a regular flour recipe with freshly milled flour, but you'll have to add more freshly milled flour than all-purpose flour. Now, let Mrs. D make all the mistakes. Yes, I could have searched the internet and found a recipe, but I wanted to know whether or not, my mouth is watering because these cookies are so good. I wanted to know whether or not I can take one of my favorite recipes and switch it out for freshly milled flour. I will continue to do these trial and error because I have a lot of recipes that I love. And I want to use my recipes, not necessarily someone else's. So thank you so much for joining me today on Mrs. D's Baking TV, where we baked some delicious, because my mouth is still watering, where I baked some delicious chocolate chip cookies. And I always say we because you guys are on this journey with me. So don't forget to thumbs up this video, guys. You know how this whole algorithm thing works. Share this video with your friends, anyone that you know who is just joining the freshly milled flour family. Share my videos with them. I would appreciate it. Thumbs up this video, like, share, subscribe. I think I just said all those things. Guys, be blessed. Bake for yourself, bake for your family. Bye. That chocolate. Mm.